guys, I'm Tom Cool from Tom Cool Life. Today I'm at the BRP Humanchain event, and my first guest is Elay. He's from Israel, and his project name is Buff. I don't think it matters actually, but okay, let's begin. Can you just start with a very brief introduction of yourself and your project?
So my name is Elay, Elay De Beer. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Buff. And we have been working on this project for over a year now.
Over a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
For quite some time.
Yeah.
And what we are building is a blockchain-based loyalty program for gamers. And the value proposition for gamers is really simple. Play your favorite games, and you can earn something by simply playing. This is a simple value proposition.
Can I ask you a question? Yes. Sorry for interrupting, but I mean, what is the economic, logic behind that? Because just distributing tokens for playing games. Because these guys are playing games anyway, giving them money, right?
Yeah. So everything is organized in a traditional way. In terms of, you need a revenue stream basically to fund it. Otherwise, you can't give something for free. So we have a revenue stream in terms of advertising, user acquisitions that the game developers are paying us to bring them users. Transaction fees and additional revenue stream that basically allows us to get these funds and basically distribute it back to the community.
Okay.
And again, we are a layer that sits on top of the existing game. So any games, the well-known games, over 750 different games, League of Legends, Fortnite, Counter-Strike, Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, many of the top games, and you're playing your favorite game, and more importantly, the better you're playing, you will earn more coins.
Okay.
And with these coins, the simple utility or simple usage will be to buy virtual goods in any one of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So a simple use case can be you're playing Fortnite, you're really good, you're killing everyone, you're earning buff coin, and then you can see it in your app, in your Buff app, and decide where you want to spend. So you can buy V-Bucks on Fortnite, or you can go and redeem it for League of Legends and buy a cool sword or upgrade your status in any one of the game.
All right. But I want to get to the business model because my first question will be, what kind of problems are you trying to solve through this blockchain project?
Yeah. So currently the gaming ecosystem is siloed, meaning there are a lot of game publishers. Everyone has its own economy. Activision, EA, Riot, Nexon, like Korean-based company, all of them have their own games and their own virtual currency, basically, that you can buy in-game purchase, and everything is siloed. And the gamers themselves are playing, in many cases, a lot of hours, and when they're moving to a new game, everything is left behind. Mm-hmm. We are providing a new layer for them, basically, to earn something by playing, and the loyalty across all the different games. And in the other partner, the relevant partner is obviously the game publisher. And game publishers, the main thing is engagement, retention, and user acquisition. And this is what we're able to provide to them through our community, basically improve the retention and engagement rates, and provide them new user acquisition channel. And if you can think about it, taking it to a different industry, for example, the airline business, the frequent flyer plan is the greatest retention tool that they have. Some airlines were able, your previous question in terms of revenue stream, they were able to monetize it and to create a really smart monetization method to create a really strong revenue stream.
I'm sorry, but I'm not a gamer by myself actually, and but my question is, aren't actually guys like EA or whatever, this big publisher? They have their own kind of digital currency already, right? They can actually use that to incentivize the players to kind of to retain them, right? To incentivize them to keep going with their games, right?
So now they're doing it already. They have a really smart retention, and they're doing it within EA. But when you're moving to a different game, you have nothing to do with it, and it's not, they block it completely from moving between different economies.
Uh-huh.
So you're playing PUBG, and when you move to play in Fortnite, it's completely different ecosystem, and they don't allow you to transfer anything. It's just blocked. And basically us, by bringing a blockchain, we are decentralizing and providing a layer on top, which is transparent, everything is secured.
But do you think by kind of, allowing this cross-border usage of the tokens between different publishers and games, do you think that the non-existence of that kind of mechanism is a hindrance for the game publishers? I mean, is that what the problem that you want to solve, or?
So it's a problem definitely that we want to solve because we are talking to them. We have advisors which are the top executive in the gaming industry, and we are talking to them and say why it makes sense to them. Why it makes sense to them in few aspects. One, our integration with them is seamless. We don't need any long technical integration. Two, they understand that their users, the gamers, are moving between different games, and currently they can't control it, and they're competing against each other, and they're looking for new methods to retain their users. Like if you know Twitch, for example, it's a live streaming that sits on top of that. They understand it's not connected to them, it's a layer on top, but it provides a new retention and engagement tool because they see, for example, other users playing, so they're coming back to play. And they understand that it's a complementary service that goes well with them. It's a new opportunity for them to reach their audience in a new place and basically retain them and keep them engaged. And obviously find new users as well within our ecosystem.
Well, my common sense is that actually the success of a game depends on how good the game is actually. First of all, and then over a certain time, because these users, they all have kind of the limit of their kind of what do you call it, like satisfaction, or, yeah, whatever. Okay, I mean when that's up, they will naturally move to another game because they are kind of tired of the existing game. And what you're saying is that currently if you provide your tokens so that they can actually use their tokens cross-border different publishers, then they will. The retention rate of a certain game will increase, but to me it's kind of not making sense.
So they are playing. Anyway, as you said, the content is the king. They're playing a game because they like it and they enjoy it.
Right.
And the game publishers are investing a lot of effort to keep them engaged. And they're looking for new methods all the time. Like live streaming, because it helps us see what other users are doing. They're looking for new ways to engage and to retain them. This is the holy grail for the game developers, because as you know, there are new content all the time, so they're looking for ways to do it. And we provide them another layer to increase it even by a bit, but it will still give them motivation to keep on playing, because if they're playing and they're really good at a certain game because they spend a lot of time on it, they can earn additional things from it.
Right, but I mean, what happens if the majority of the gamers actually they got tired of this existing game, and that's the main reason why they moved to another game, right? In that case, I mean, the token means like, okay, I'm gonna get paid, so I have to play this game. I mean, they will not do. They will not do it, passionately. You know what I'm saying, right? It's not on their own volition. It's more like because they're getting paid.
Yeah. So, obviously, we are talking about microtransactions. It's not like you are playing a game and winning millions of dollars. This is not the case. Basically, it's a layer on top that gives you microtransactions that later on you can redeem. You need to spend time and play it. It's not like we incentivize you too much that you don't need to play anymore. You can do with the money whatever you want to. Mm-hmm. It's microtransactions that give you another retention layer or engagement based on your activity. And the players that are playing really well and are really engaged within this game, they're able to earn a bit more and then basically buy back within this game. And as I said, once the content is good, it's just giving them another set of motivation within this game. And the number one reason obviously is the content. We wouldn't provide them stay here just because they're earning money out of it.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the other concern that I have is actually because right now the biggest attraction and the biggest differentiation factor of your blockchain project is that they can, I mean, the gamer can use the token at other publishers for virtual assets, whatever, right? In that case, I mean, most probably I think that the tokens will come from the game publishers because they want to retain the game users, but then the game users actually use the money at another competitor's virtual shop, for instance. I mean, they're not going to like it.
So for now, we're talking to them, and they said they understand why it makes sense to them. Again, gamers are by essence moving between games sometimes, but someone that is playing, for example, League of Legends is playing League of Legends, and I wouldn't make him move to somewhere else. This is the game he likes. It's just giving them once every few weeks, instead of paying with his own money, he will be able to spend what he earned from us. Once he decides to move, then he has some assets that maybe he can use later on. We are not going to make him the change to a new content site. Maybe we'll offer it to him, but obviously this is not going to be the main reason for him to move along.
Okay, and the main reason you think that your blockchain project will be a success is because, because you don't believe that publishers actually can kind of, I don't know, maybe they can, form an association or something and then create a common, token for the usage of, cross usage of their tokens.
So they tried a loyalty platform that will work on many other projects. Everything was centralized in terms of one game publisher said, okay, I want to control everything else, I will create it. And it didn't work because they didn't trust them. And here we're creating a blockchain-based, everything is transparent, it's a layer that sits on top. And then it's something they can live in harmony with.
Okay, then what's the main reason that in transparency?
So game publishers don't want to have someone a stake in this. If they understand that, for example, Riot Games have a stake in this project, they say, okay, EA would say, I don't want to be part of it because they will take our data. Here we are like a third party, sits on top, and we are showing everything to everyone. Everyone are on the same rules. Everyone will see what's happening, both the gamer side and the publisher side. And this is something that they can live with.
Okay, so can you more get into details about the blockchain? Because right now, my understanding is that you will create a token, and the token will be given to the gamers, and then the gamers can use it, at any partner, game publisher of your blockchain project, right? But what else? Because you talked about the transparency, which means most probably data related. So what kind of data, transparency you provide?
I'll start from a bit earlier. Our partners in this project is a company called Overwolf. Overwolf is also based in Israel. They have been around for over 8 years now. And it's a technology company. They're doing an app store for gamers. Gamers that are playing games are downloading usually their apps to enhance their gaming experience.
Okay.
So they are our partners in this project. They are technology partners, number one. They allow us to get all the events within the games in real time, so I can see who you shot, who you killed, how many goals you did on FIFA. Everything I'm able to know it in real time, and I explain in a second how it's relevant for blockchain. The second part, which is really important, they have a really large gaming community. They have 15 million monthly active gamers, and this will be basically our first users to join Buff. This is our go-to-marketing strategy. Now, regarding your question about blockchain, basically, we're getting all this data, all these events in real time. We are recording everything on the blockchain. And
what is the purpose of the events recording?
You're right. So if in traditional incentive is the mining, you are solving a mathematical problem, you're using your computer GPU. In our case, it's a proof of work. So in our case, we have created a proof of play. Basically, based on your in-game achievements, we're able to incentivize you. It's not mining, it's basically allocation of the coins. So our algorithms basically are taking dozens of different events in each game and are able to, through AI, basically define which event is more important than another game and how frequent is it statistically to happen. So we're able basically to normalize this data and incentivize the gamers based on how well they're playing. This is number one. Number two is to match it between different games based on difficulty level, on how well you're playing and who you're playing against. So it's a complicated math, basically, that everything is written on blockchain. And the incentive method, the proof of play, everything is written on the blockchain itself. The other layer, obviously, is fraud detection to make sure that no one handles or tamper with this data. And blockchain has its inherent tools to protect against fraud, and it's a big issue in the gaming industry. So this we're able to protect.
I mean, what is the big issue? Why is it a big issue?
In gaming, in general, there's a lot of fraud issues. Why? Because the gaming companies basically are counting on the fact that you will spend money on doing something. In the end, if you are playing a game like like Fortnite, you can either play for a very, very long time and get something out of it, or you can spend some money and get upgraded really fast. So a lot of...
like using a bot?
Exactly, like using a bot. You can go, for example, just a simple example, go on a tree, hit it like 1 million times, get an apple each time, then redeem this apple for a sword, whatever.
Right, okay.
So there's an issue about it. Basically, it's an unfair advantage for certain gamers, and the gamers see it and they say, okay, it's not fun to play like this, it's not fair. And we are using this blockchain methodology, one, to make sure that no one is cheating, basically, our algorithms, and two, to try and avoid and remove the bad actors from playing on our network.
Okay. And how's the data stored on the blockchain?
So everything is stored on the ledger. We have a hybrid between a private blockchain and a public blockchain, basically to cope with the amount of transaction per second. The bus token itself is an ERC20 token. That this is what's used.
So the data goes on the private blockchain?
Yes. The data goes on the private blockchain and synced once in a while to the public blockchain.
If you put, it seems like the data are very important, but if you put it on a private blockchain, the centralization has its limit in that case.
You're right. So currently we've built it on Arc. This is the framework we're using, and we're considering new options. At the moment, honestly, there are a lot of different opportunities like EOS, Cardano, and other platforms that we are testing already. And basically, and this is, I think that in essence, most projects will start in a more centralized way till the community is growing up, and then move to fully decentralized way till the things pick up. And our aim is to say we are creating all the infrastructure to move to a fully public blockchain. And again, since now Ethereum obviously doesn't able to cope with the amount of transaction we're looking to do, so we're doing this hybrid solution, and ultimately we want to move to a fully public blockchain.
Okay, why don't you use this decentralized storage network for the data storage, and then connect it to the blockchain, and the blockchain is used for token payments. Why don't you integrate that kind of scheme?
So this is our plan to do it. Basically, now the public like US and stuff like that, everyone is still experimenting with it to see if it can handle the amount of transaction per second. So we're experimenting with it as well. And our aim is, again, and what we've stated is that we will move to a public decentralized solution.
Okay, because if I summarize it, from a user point of view, from the gamer's point of view, there's always a way. For instance, if you are a user of the EA games, in that case, you will get these digital currencies, and then you can use it, within the EA network, right? But that's the limitation, right? But by your system, you can move beyond it, and you can actually use the token at other publishers as well. I think it's a great attraction. So the problem will be, not the problem, the kind of limitation that you have overcome is actually these publishers, right? You have to make them very passionate about the blockchain project so that they can partner up with you guys, right? And the attraction is actually transparency mainly, right? Because what you're saying is that even if they want to do something between them, there's a problem because of the data transparency, right? Because like you said already, the two standards. The first is some events, because there are more important events than the others, and there's difficult level. And the more difficult it is, or the more important the event is, the user will get more tokens, right? And right now, that's not very easy, right? So by putting it on the blockchain, then everybody can agree that actually, this is transparent, right?
Yeah. And again,
do you think that's enough for getting the support of your partners?
No, it's not enough. And I'll tell you why. The game publishers are, and old school companies, they like blockchain, for example, but they don't want to get involved in it, not yet at least. There are a lot of different projects that allow a new deposit method. And I say, okay, the big publishers, let's say, do it yourself. It's not for us. We are happy with fiat, pay us in US dollars, in ones, in whatever. It's not for us. They're afraid that someone will tamper with their economics. There are projects like Wax or other projects that are saying, trade your assets. You got a sword, so trade it for something else. And said, don't do it because it will tamper with our smart economics, so don't do it. Our solution is something they can live in harmony with. Why? Because it's seamless integration. They don't need an API. They don't need to give any manpower to integrate with us, because we have all the technologies that allows to do it seamlessly from the publisher perspective. And from their aspect, it's a new acquisition channel, new retention channel, new engagement channel, and with limited effort on their behalf. The only engagement we are doing with them is basically to buy the virtual goods for cash, for US dollars, and provide it on our marketplace. So for them, it's a no-brainer because they have really nothing to lose on that aspect, and they can go and start it right away. This is why we're able to onboard so many publishers from day one, because it's a no-brainer.
What about the data? Because they have to kind of give over the data to you guys.
So they don't have to do it. Basically, we have the technology. It's really smart technology we have built together with Overwolf that allows...
Is it Other Wolf?
Overwolf.
Okay.
Overwolf is the name of the company.
O-V-E-R and then Wolf.
Yeah, Overwolf. Okay. Again, they have been around and they have technology for 8 years. And through image recognition and really smart tech, once you download our app, we're able to monitor all the events that happen inside the game. We don't need an API integration, so I'm able to see who you shot and how many goals you did, everything which is seamless in terms of the publishers. So we have the technology already to do it. It's used, it's proven by hundreds of different game developers and app developers.
So I mean, I think it's very important, because I think the most important partnership right now you have is actually with Overwolf. Is it a partnership or is it's a parent company?
No, so it's a partnership. It's an exclusive partnership that we have with
You
them.
have a contract?
Yeah, of course.
It's not an MOU?
No, it's...
Okay, and then my question is, okay, because you already said that Overwolf has like 1.5 million users or
15.
something? 50 million,
yeah.
Right? Which is a huge number, right?
It's a huge number.
I mean,
part of the agreement we have with
what
them.
is this company providing? Because, like you said already, my understanding was that actually this company, gathers data, events, difficulty, and then does it provide it to the publishers so that they can distribute?
No. So they are. Think about a Google Play Store. Basically, they provide a technical infrastructure for anyone that want to develop an app. So if you, for example, you want to develop a cool app for Fortnite, you want to create a cool statistic and then distribute it, you can use their data and create this app. So they provide developer tools. Part of the activity that they're doing, they are developing also apps themselves, and they have a really large database that they can use. And the partnership we have with them is in two aspects. One, the technical aspect, which we get all this data, and two, the community that basically we can utilize and convert them into the buffers.
Okay, so